colleague, Zorana Ivankovic. I was her mentor at her PhD thesis, so she finished her residency program in Sarajevo and undergraduate study in Sarajevo, and her PhD she has finished in Rijeka. Now she's employed at the School of Medicine at the University of Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina, at the Department of Orthodontics as an assistant professor, and also at the University of Split, Croatia, also for dental students at the Department of Orthodontics. Welcome.
Thank you. I practice in Split, Croatia, and I'm assistant professor, and as Professor Špalj said, I will present you today's topic about bending wire. You know that according to Charles Tweed, we have first order information, second order and third order information in the wire. First order are in-out. They are information applied in the arch in horizontal way. Second order are information applied in the wire in a vertical way. It's tip, mesiodistally. And the third order is inclination of the teeth. It can be inclination of the crown, it can be palatally or buccally, and inclination of the root, it can be lingually or palatally. You know from Introduction to Orthodontics to Dr. Andrews and his 6 case of occlusion. Dr. Andrews was genius. He understood 120 non-orthodontic patients, and he understood every single position of the tooth, and his models were in good class 1, without rotation, in nice position, with correct overjet overbite, and he found some interesting measurements. He placed embrasure line. It's the line where the contacts of the teeth are. And he found that central incisors is in out position, lateral incisors is in position, cuspid is also out, bicuspid are also out, and second molar, when it is distally rotated, is also out. And he found that central incisors has a crown which is 2.1 millimeter from embrasure line. Central is 165, cuspid is 2.5, bicuspid are similar, and the first molar is almost 3 millimeter from embrasure line. That is because the central is thicker than lateral, lateral is thinner than cuspid, cuspid is thicker, and bicuspid also. And you ask me now, probably your question is, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this, the bending wire? Because it was before Dr. Andrews developed straight wire appliance, and if you see your brackets carefully when are you placing them on typodont or on patient, you can see that central of brackets is thinner than lateral, lateral is thicker, cuspid is thinner, and bicuspid also, and the distal part of the tube of molar is also thicker than the mesial side. And you can see that the only who is affected is lateral incisors. Lateral incisors. When you go in with straight wire appliance, it will step in. It happens automatically. And the second question is, I think, is probably that why are you teaching us to bend the wire? Because if you want to finish your patient perfectly, if you want to have a good result, you have to bend the wire, because the morphology of the tooth is that demands bending wire. And in today's exercise, I will step in central incisors, step out lateral incisors, step in cuspid, and step out first molar, and make toe in for second molar. If you see these two tooth, you have the same brackets, it's cuspid, and the same brackets, and can you imagine what will happen with these two tooth? They are the same tooth, but the morphology is different. What will happen with this tooth when you go with straight wire, and what will happen with this tooth when you go with straight wire? For bending wire, we can bend all bends with this wire. This is a tweed plier. They come in couple. And for torquing wire or make bends. And this is a bird beak, also known as universal, also known as half round plier, and we can do all bends with this free plier. For virus, you cannot bend night eye, and the best is beta night eye, which works better in clinic than stainless steel. You can bend stainless steel, but beta night eye works better. TMA is a product of Orco. It's beta titanium from Orco, and it has low friction TMA, which can be a working wire. You can slide the teeth with this TMA. You cannot use stainless steel, because stainless steel sometimes delivers a great force. For bending, I use 1925 and 2125 beta 9 tie for 022 slot, and 1725 beta 9 tie for 18 slot. This is video. I will show you bending first order bends.
First of all, we mark between central and lateral and cuspid, between second bicuspid and first molar, and between first and second molar. Between central and lateral and bicuspid, second bicuspid and first molar, and first and second molar. This is our arch wire. This is mid-arch. This is mid-arch. This is space for central incisors, lateral incisors. Because the central incisors is stepped out, we bend in. Lateral incisors is stepped out, we step in, we bend out. Lateral incisors is stepped in, we bend out. Cuspid is stepped out, we bend in. And second bicuspid is stepped in, we bend out. First molar is stepped out, we bend in. And the same on the other side. We bend in, out, we bend out, bend in, bend out, bend in, and at the end, toe in for second molar, 5 degrees. Only 5 degrees, it's too much. Degrees. The wire has to be flat. Okay, it is first order bend. This is lateral inset. This is cuspid offset, molar offset, and toe in. And this is first order wire bending. How our arch wire looks like after bending. Okay? These bends you can do with hammerhead or first order bend plier. This is plier with 1/2 millimeter step. If you take the arch wire on this way and press, what you get? You get step out. Or if you press on the other side, you got step in. Remember how I take this arch wire on this way, but now on vertical I can make vertical bends with them. This is step down bends, or if you do that on the other side, it is step up. And what we got with these bends, this is, if it is upper arch wire, it will be nice extrusion or intrusion. All done with these pliers.
And what we did. From this picture, you can see why we did first order bend. It's a lateral inset, it's cuspid offset, and for molar offset and toe in. We get a better shape of the wire, of the arch wire. And let's see that in clinical. I don't know how is in your practice, but I have my own practice for 25 years, and I see that patients are more demanding. All the year they are demanding. They are all Google doctors. They know everything about what you did, and they want more and more every year. And this patient is, when she came in my office, she said that when she's going with her tongue, it's very, yes. She doesn't feel the same on the left and the, on the left and the right side, yes. It's a lateral incisors, always is lateral incisors, is stepped in or stepped out or something wrong with that. And you have a choice. You have a choice. You can make reposition of the brackets, sandblasting, and etc., etching, or you can make these bends, step out bends. For my recommendation, do it out of mount, because it's not comfortable for a patient that you can do in the mount. And this is bend this band, and you can first of all rotated tooth needs less space than straight. And first of all, you have to make a place. You can make space for this. You can use interproximal reduction for at least one half millimeter, at least, and make a band on the TMA wire. And for 1 month. For 1 month, it is corrected. It is corrected, and after 3 months, I like to stay 3 months doing nothing, and then remove the appliance, and the patient is finally satisfied. We removed the appliance.
And
This-
said it's okay.
Yes, now it's okay. You can be a good orthodontist because you corrected this small rotation. But never mind what you did before. Never mind, but it's good, it's small rotation, but you can do that. It's a patient which will bring you more patient. If you leave the patient unsatisfied, it's not good for your practice. Yes. This is a step plier. When I showed you when you put the wire in this plier, you will get this step.
Right.
Yes. I showed you. You can do horizontal step out or step in. If you, for example, have a first molar in crossbite, and you can do this bend with this plier. It lasts only 1 minute and less. And before tube of first molar, you will bend this, and the first molar will step out. You can do also. You can do vertical step down or step up. If you do something, it's vertical, but you can take the plier from the other side. And you can do vertical step down or step up. This is not a good picture, but you can see that this brackets is placed too far gingivally, and this tooth is extruded. You can see the marginals uneven. Marginals, gingival margins are uneven, and again, you have two choices to reposition brackets and compare the shape memory arch wire to level this tooth with this, or you can bend step up bends on a stiff arch wire, on TMA, or I something do this bends vertical on stainless steel 18. 018 on stainless steel, you can do this. This is intruded tooth, and you can make with this plier step down bends, and this tooth will extrude. Is it clear?
Mm-hmm.
Third order bends are bends, I said, in vertical way, vertical plane of space. For Tweed philosophy, making third order bends means making anchorage preparation. For distal like this, if you want flatten the Carville's P, you can make first distalize first second molar, then first molar. You had to make compensation and decompensation bend to not the second molar be intruded, and then for second bicuspid. But if you want, I can show you this bending if you want to see this. But all loops on the arch wire are second order bends. Artistic bends are also second order bends. We use them for upright the teeth, only for upright the teeth in mesiodistally way. For this, there are second order bend plier, and if you press this plier, you get bingo. This bend, this is a second order bend. Very fast and very easy. If you have, for example, you can see this lateral has this parallel root. If you see on your radiograph that the roots are not parallel, you have to upright that teeth. You can see that the teeth is tipped mesially, and you want to tip it distally. And you will make this bend, second order bends with this plier, and the lower side of the bend is the side where will this tooth move to. This side, the lower side, is the side where the tooth will move to. And third order bends are torsional bends along the arch wire, and we use them to tip the crown or tip the root. Why we have to make third order bends? We are not straighten the teeth. Every general dentist can straighten the teeth, can make straighten the teeth, because every can learn how to place the brackets and wait what will happen. But we are orthodontists, and we couldn't leave our appliance to do what we had to do, because we have a different prescription, but the patients are different, and we cannot do prescription to do what will happen with our patient. And after class 2 elastics, they result that upper incisors being too upright. We know that upper incisors have buccal crown torque, have to be with buccal crown torque. And after class 2 elastics, lower incisors have been proclined, so that they need a lingual torque, lingual crown torque. Also, palatal cusps of the first molar are hanging down, and this is the picture. If you finish your patient and patient is satisfied, he has straight teeth, but you are not satisfied. You see that something is missing. Probably torque is missing, and you have incisors that are upright. They have to be buccally, and the cuspid have to be lingually inclined. And this occlusion is unstable, and you will not have a good result, retention result. And negative lingual crown torque has a negative effect on smile. We want broader aesthetic smile, and we don't have that smile if the teeth are upright, if the upper incisors are upright. Before making exercise with torque, you have to know that if we make a torque in the anterior region, it goes to posterior. all we do in anterior, it goes to posterior. So you can you will see the omega loops which I made in the exercise, that they will, in case of buccal crown torque, they will go in. In case of lingual crown torque, they will go out. And first we do torque in anterior, and then in posterior, at posterior region. The arch wire must be checked on the glass every time. Every time we do bends, we do torque, we have to check our arch wire. It has to be flat. It has to be flat. It has to lie on surface, on table surface. It has to be flat, because if it's not flat, you have uncontrolled movement. You don't have a torque, you have uncontrolled movement. You introduce uncontrolled movements in the arch wire, you will get intrusion or extrusion or something what you don't want. This is tweed plier, and I forgot to say that second order bends we read in the wire. We can see the bends we made in the wire, but third order bends we read with the plier. This is our arch wire. This is our arch wire. If you imagine that this is our brackets of central incisor, this is our molar tube, and if the wire is flat on the surface, on the table surface, if you put that wire in the tweed plier, if the wire is in the middle of the beaks, that means that we have no torque in the plier, no torque in the wire. Do you understand this? Yes. That means that the wire lies passively in the slots of brackets. This is our slots of brackets. Okay. This is readout. This is readout how we are looking at distal ends of the wire. For example, if our goal is for mandibular arch wire is often we need 7 degrees of lingual crown torque. For 7 degrees of lingual crown torque, the distal ends of the wire have to be 5 millimeters over the line in the middle of the plier. For canine torque, lingual crown torque, the wire has to be 9 millimeters over the line, and for molar it has to be 15 millimeters over the line. You will see on the video, I will make third order bends on maxillary arch wire. For maxillary arch wire, we often need buccal crown torque for incisors, but for canines we need lingual crown torque, and for molars we need lingual crown torque. For this, we need buccal crown torque. Is the distal ends of the wire will be 5 millimeters over the line, but for canines the distal ends will be 5 millimeters below the line, because it's lingual crown torque, and this will be 9 millimeters below the line. The twisting plier we take in the right hand. In the right hand, this is right hand, and twisting plier. The twisting plier has to be distally of the mark of canine, or distally of the mark, and the holding plier we keep in the left hand. It has to be mesial to the mark and from the buccal. And Andrei, third order bends. I'm gonna make third order bends. First, I will make. Da vratimo onaj drugi.
Huh?
We could twist the head.
And the camera.
Huh? We discussed about third order bands. I'm gonna to make third order bands.
Da.
Je okej?
First, nije?
Trebalo bi ga okrenuti.
Okay.
We discussed about third order bands. I'm gonna make third order bands. First, I will make an arch 4 with turret. That's good. And first I will make mark the midline and cut the excess wire. Not too short but not too long. This is upper wire, this is lower and this is upper. I use this template to mark the segments of torque. The segments of torque are between a lateral end caspid for anterior segment, between bicuspids for canines and first bicuspid, and for posterior segments is back. I will mark one mark between first and second molar, between lateral and cuspid, between bicuspid, and between first and second molar for omega loop. Now, you don't have to make omega loop, but omega loops maintain the arch height. And you can see what's happened with torque at omega loop. First, I will bend 45, 19, retention, parallel, and number 5, and on the line. Now it's really important to have omega loop on the same height. Okay, the other side, 19, 45, 19, retention, parallel, and number 5 on the line. You can see that omegas are now upright. You can see that. Okay. Marks are down. is upper arch wire, and you have to know that for upper arch wire we bend with omega up, and lower arch wire we bend with omega down. So you can not bend opposite torque. And now we will check for torque. Now, if the wire is flat, as it should be, the distal, we look at the distal end of the wire. The distal ends of the wire have to be in the middle of the plier. If you imagine one line, this is our central incisor bracket, this is our molar tube, and the wire has to be in the middle of the plier, on one and the opposite side. Is it in the middle? That means that we have zero torque. Now there is no torque in the wire. Okay? We use Bird-Beak plier for anterior torque. For anterior segment we use Bird-Beak plier. Omegas are up. Bird-Beak is, we go on the middle with the round part of Bird-Beak up. We have to see what we are doing.
Ovdje sam stala s...
We go rotate and up. Rotate and up. From the middle and opposite side.
Rotate and push up. Till the cannot mark.
Rotate and up. Okay, we are pushing up and there are balls in the wire. We have to remove them with fingers. If the balls are in, it's not torque, it's uncontrolled movement. You have to remove the balls. Only flatten the wire. It's very important. It's very, very important. Now it's flat, so let's see torque. If the wire is flat, and now what's happened? All went up. All went up. It is our central incisors, it is our molar tube, but it is not in the middle, it is up. That means if we go in the tube of molars, what's happened? It will go on. That means that we have buccal crown torque. How much? It's 7 degrees of torque is about 5 millimeters over the line, over the middle. It's 5 millimeters. It's about 7 degrees of torque. On the other side, the same, 5 millimeters from the line. Now we go to canine torque. I erase the mark. With twisting plier, I'm going distal of the mark. distal of the mark, I go with twisting plier in right hand from lingually. With holding plier, I go from buccally and mesial to the mark, mesial of the mark. And you see the distance between plier is about 1 millimeter or 1 millimeter and a half. And now we need canine have negative torque, and we need lingual crown torque. How much? 7 degrees of lingual crown torque. Now we need our distal ends, we need below the line. And we push up with twisting plier, we go up. We go up and see what's happened with distal ends. Now, the distal end is below the line. How much? 5 millimeters. It means that we have 7 degrees of lingual crown torque for canines. We go on the other side, twisting plier distal from buccally, holding plier mesial, and go up. We are seeing what are we doing, and now it is 5 millimeters. Now it's below the line.
Omega
It
are
means
now up.
that we have lingual crown torque of 7 degrees. Okay, let's check the wire. We don't want balls in the wire. Remove. We don't want uncontrolled movements. It's very important. And check again. Check again. Yes, we are 5 millimeters below the line. From the other side, we always look at the opposite side. We are now. I marked the plier so that you can see what I'm doing. We have on the opposite side also, we are 5 millimeters below the line, and we go to posterior segment. Posterior segment is, we go to distal of the mark, mesial of the mark, mesial, and go up. For posterior segment, upper posterior segment, the standard torque is lingual crown torque of 12 degrees. 12 degrees is about 9 millimeters below the line. That's it. 9 millimeters below the line. You see, the distal ends are 9 millimeters. And we go to, you see that we go to the opposite side. Twisting plier are distal, holding plier mesial, and now we go up. It's too much. That's it. It is 9 millimeters below the line. Can you see that? And check for flatness. It is flat. And check for parallelism for both sides. It can be parallel. Can you see? It's parallel. Okay. You can make a torque with a Rolls torquing plier. Dr. Rolls is from Texas, and he invented this plier. If you have, for example, one lateral which was in crossbight, and in leveling phase you tip them backally, but the root is still inclined lingually, and you want the root of the teeth backally. You will mark that place. For example, if it's lateral, you will mark the wire. You will grab with this plier how much torque. This is key. If you are 22 or 18 slot, you choose the slot. How much torque? This is you go in parallel. This is 0 torque. This is 90. This is 45. We need all between 0 and 45 is our goal. And if it's upper arch, and you want your root backally, you will go up and make this. And this is, you see torquing wire. This is torque we need. All done with this plier.
Awesome. This is not can be done down.
Yeah, if you want the purple, then
Yes.
if you want the root, possibly then down. Yeah.